Hey guys, it's Alex, and welcome to a brand new series on the channel. In this series, we're going to be going through every Pokemon opening and analyzing the lyrics and visuals. I think this will be a fun series, and I really hope you enjoy. I decided to start off with XY&Z, one of my favorite OPs, and it's packed with a ton of cool references, so yeah, let's get right into it. The OP starts with Ash in this nondescript location, along with his team. There's a spotlight on him, meaning this could be some sort of stage, or rather a metaphor that the world is his stage. A spotlight beams down on him and his team, with all of the shadows being in the shape of shurikens, of course a reference to Greninja, and of course in the center of it all, Ash is smirking and standing tall because he knows he's a winner. In the next scene, each main character is shown as the letters X and Y close in on the screen, eventually creating the XY&Z logo. Each character is shown monochromally in a color that represents them, and these character colors show up multiple times throughout the OP, so let me try and break them down. Ash is a dark blue, a color that shows up in his XY outfit and other outfits of his. In color theory, blue symbolizes trust, loyalty, confidence, and responsibility, which are all characteristics I'd say represent XY Ash. However, blue also represents depression and sadness, which of course relates to Ash and Greninja's arc during the Snowball City arc. And of course, blue is the color of water and Greninja. Moving on to Serena, who is pink, the color of her clothing. Pink represents femininity and romance, and I don't think I need to explain how this color relates to her arc. Clement is blue like Ash, but more light and turquoise, just like his clothes. Just like Ash's blue, Clement's arc has to do with the responsibility of being a gym leader, and his loyalty and confidence relates to Clembot during the Team Flare arc. Bonnie's yellow, the color of her hair and pochette. Yellow represents kindness, warmth, and curiosity in the world, all characteristics that led her to befriend Squishy and save the world. Anyway, back to the scene itself. It is littered with hexagons, which of course are a reference to Generation 6 and Zygarde. Moving on to the next scene, Ash and his friends overlook Lumiose City from a cliff. I think this is a reference to the cliff scene from when Ash arrived in Lumiose before the Clement battle earlier in XY, but maybe it's also a reference to Advanced Adventure. The lyrics at this point reference the shining morning sun, which can also be seen in this scene. Next, the letters X, Y, and Z are shown on screen, inside of them being each main character along with their Pokemon in their character color. Serena is shown in pink performing, Clement in his blue inventing, and Bonnie in yellow along with Squishy. Then Team Rocket are shown back in normal colors getting into disguise. I guess they don't get a character color. Before Ash returns to his character color and sends them blasting off again. The following scene brings us into a water-filled cave with Ash and Greninja. This cave likely represents the cave from the Forest episode, which helped reconcile their bond. Ash is on the ground, physically being below Greninja, showing that they're not equals right now. Then, Alon and Sawyer flash on screen, battling Ash and presumably winning. Alon and Sawyer both get their own character colors here as well, so let me break them down. Alon is shown in purple, which is not a color in his character design. So here's a quick lesson in color history. Purple dyes in the past were always expensive, so they became associated with luxury and royalty, as well as mystery. The luxury and royalty could be a reference to Team Flare, and specifically Lysander's past and heritage, while Alon himself has always been surrounded in mystery. Meanwhile, Sawyer is green, being the color of his hair and clothing. Green is mostly associated with luck, which is basically the opposite of Sawyer's battle style, so I find that interesting. However, green is also associated with growth, which is a representation of Sawyer, so I think that's what they're going for. During the scene, the lyrics roughly translate to, "Our overlapping feelings synchronize as they become our unfading bonds." These being their feelings of sadness turning into a bond that helps them grow. After this, Greninja starts to get up and leave, which is what finally gets Ash to stand up and them become equal. This references the bond phenomenon leaving them, leading the two of them to become equals in the end. As Ash reaches out to Greninja, he turns into water and falls into the water of the cave. Ash's tears then drop into the water, turning into the water veil and into Ash Greninja. So what does all this water represent other than just Greninja being a water type? I think this is all meant to convey that the water veil, which held back the bond phenomenon transformation from being fully mastered, is created from Ash and Greninja's tears. Once Ash is able to master his emotions, that leads to the mastery of the form. This also ties into the lyric Pinchi Watchin Sodaze, which translates to pinches turn into chances. The pinch, or problem, is Ash crying, and eventually that turned into the chance of mastering the form. At least that's how I interpret it all. Anyway, back to when the water veil formed, the next scene is a battle between Ash and Sawyer in some nondescript forest. The thing is, these two never battled in a forest. I think this could be the forest that Ash battles Diantha in during XY episode 118. Maybe this Diantha battle was originally intended to be Sawyer before being changed? After some phenomenal saga of battle, the camera zooms into Ash's eye, which brings us back to the cave from earlier. Here, Greninja is shown as a Froakie before evolving and mastering its form, showing again how leaving that cave symbolizes the mastery. The lyric here translates to, "We won't give up," which is of course what Ash and Greninja are doing. The following scene shows these red hands chasing Squishy, and the red represents Team Flare and their red Zygarde mind control. Then all of Team Flare, along with another Zygarde and Alon, stand in their way, the other Zygarde likely being Z2. This is the first time Ash sees Alon being associated with Team Flare, which will happen later into the Team Flare arc. Squishy is shown running through a forest. Maybe the forest represents the one from his dream in XY&Z? Squishy transforms to every Zygarde form while the lyric states, "Reach our hands out," being exactly what Bonnie did for Squishy. When Squishy becomes complete Zygarde, a giant beacon of light erupts into the sky, being exactly what happened when it transformed during the Team Flare arc. Following that, Wulfric appears on screen, and every Pokemon shown are the ones that can be found in the Pokemon Village and game, so that's where he is. He turns to look at something, probably Ash coming his way. This makes me wonder if Ash was originally supposed to meet Wulfric in the Pokemon Village before their gym battle, because that's what happens in the games. For the final scene, Ash grabs a Pokeball, and then each other main character comes onto the screen, the background changing into their character color before they themselves turn into their respective colors. The background is hexagons again, representing Gen 6. The lyrics here are important as well, relating to the characters on screen. When Ash is on screen, the lyric roughly translates to facing their fears and going on together, referencing Ash and Greninja. The lyric for the other three is Yume no Mukou Made, translating to Beyond Our Dreams. When Serena pops up is when the word Yume is said, meaning dreams, and of course relating to Serena's dreams. I mean, Serena's theme is literally called Dream Dream. Dreams are integral to her character. Clement pops up during the word no, which is a possessive particle in Japanese. Think of it as English's apostrophe S. The possessive particle in relation to Clement, in my opinion, I think that means he's the one who holds the group together, which makes sense given he's Bonnie's blood and Ash's friend. Or it could mean nothing, it's literally just a particle. Then Bonnie shows up during Mukou Made, meaning beyond or towards. This represents her moving ahead after Squishy leaving, and her journey beginning later into the future. After that, the OP is done. Alright, hopefully my analysis made sense and I wasn't just rambling on and on. Let me know in the comments if you enjoyed this so I know to make more videos in this series, and tell me which OPs to cover next. I don't know if I really plan on doing every single OP, because for example an OP like Volt doesn't really have a ton of symbolism to analyze compared to Kimi no Boken, which has a ton to look at. If you enjoyed this, make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.